A lovely good evening to you, our viewers. You're watching the Camnet News. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. The top stories on our desk this evening. President HH says a clique of thieves is recruiting new members in government. MWANAWASA relocation settlement residents plead for help as the military imposed restrictions on a vital route. A LUSAKA man is on the run for murdering his wife. In international news, Malians pay tributes to the former leader IBRAHIM BOUBACAR KEITA. And in sports, fast clubs differ over kick-off date on new Women's Super League season.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Once again, thank you for choosing us. The news in detail. A man of Lusaka's Ngombe compound is allegedly on the run after murdering his girlfriend in their one-room house. Neighbors have told Camnet News that they received a call from the man stating that he was sick and needed to be checked on, only to find that the house comprised of a decomposed body. Meanwhile, in a phone interview, Women for Change Executive Director Lumba Sianga has urged neighbors to be alert and report any signs of domestic abuse in its early stages to relevant authorities. Details in this report.
Some residents of Ngombe compound in Lusaka bypass this house on a daily basis while going about their business, not knowing that it has been housing a corpse for about 2 days, while others lived right next door. This is Ngombe Ward 3, where the decomposing body of a woman was discovered by neighbors at around 11 hours Monday morning. They narrate that the woman, who is suspected to be in her mid-20s and works as a maid, has been living in this house with her boyfriend who does not work and is known to be over-controlling. They explained that one of the neighbors was called by the said man, alleging that he was sick and needed to be checked on. They however state that upon entering the house, they discovered the body covered in blankets, which they mistook to be the man due to the phone call, only to discover that it was the decomposing body of his girlfriend, while the man was nowhere to be seen.
Kako kunganda kuri wikara muri wano monastery so for guys batisangira mu ile batisangira batisasanga na fimbana twatisamu so ina twachira mu kwati ni mwangume uri awini guys so twatisamu mata na form guys mungando so twatisamu mane na muna cyane twatisamu kira futi kauna mwana kashuri ukwi so for twatisamu makutu ngata ile mwana kashi so for twatisamu na police twatisamu
aba bakazi nizibana nawo none babatu so basatade nawo nakomboka kunchito naiva komboka kunchito so na dabo futi naenda kunchito lero napeza ti kuli mundu wakufa kuja kuseni peza ti nivaja bakazi chaipa bazimuna baliko lero nsajizani ali nazo uja bamuna timziva apa mkazi wake chifukwa cha nsanje olwa nyamuka kungena mu shop within 5 minutes abo menyewa
niso
afunaka paliposa bewa chape babiri
abataba notaba kuchoka pasatade kubwa kumuona lero pamande pakaonongeka so ine nipe mpako che boma kulikonse kwa mena liri uyu mwamuna ataba bamugwire elo manje bamugwire bakamugwira bamusenzerepo chirango wampase maningi ndabamuna madeziano bambo paya bazimai
pasatade usiku mwana wanga pasande ati abaho mavutana lero so bazipa minute nawo kwa kudoko enze kokoma so kapenda wanampa ya pasatade ya meja de pamene kwenze chongo So kuseni lero pamande nje panitaza kuti muri muntu okufa mu nyumba mbati chamira ati tamadi mamuna ncho ipa sana chabui.
bifa vamene vachitika sivinakondwerese ngani yopayana chayo chimalengesa ine chayo nimaonapo nsanje zikapitirira malire ndiye mwaibvi mapezekera sochera.
Meanwhile, Women for Change Executive Director Ms. Lumba Sianga has raised concern at the escalating levels of gender-based violence GBV in the community.
And also neighbors should be on the lookout. If people are always fighting and you just keep quiet till when there's a death reported, I think neighbors can do something to prevent someone from losing their life. Let's engage our neighbors, those we hear screaming at night, or we hear them complaining as we are fetching water, as we are going to the bus stations or bus stops. We hear all kinds of complaints. I think let's not just ignore these complaints.
By broadcast time, the body was being carried away by the police while the man is said to be on the run. An official statement on the matter had not yet been received from the Zambia police by broadcast time. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Residents of Lusaka's Chunga Township in Matero constituency have called on the Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company to address the water leakage that has persisted in the area for over 3 months. In an interview, the residents say the spillage has left the road damaged, affecting easy access to public transport and threatening the health of the majority citizens. Details in this report.
Tafire moneka bwino efima suwakula nefima enchifyonse tafire moneka bwino kano mwasange chitumbi ero mukaposa kwa manu fitumbi fyena muresa very fast nomba fifini msoboso tafire moneka bwino emisewo.
They have endured this water spillage problem for over 3 months now. Residents of Lusaka's Chunga compound Matero constituency are concerned that if the situation remains unchecked, residents, especially the children who swim in this water, will be prone to various waterborne diseases.
Mwana sila mena watiwachani wapanga gijakuja basi vimanzi manje vikungo dai kachabe baenda so chabe road sidi bwino kuno kwatu kuja kumanda tavuti kana bana then anasha chevi muganda kuja kapita mamoto kaya jomba every time so mtianga nepo tapapa tashuwa
abantu benzena project yo ikama pipe many sewer pipe hivi last year Chunga yonse banayika bagendo sikakonse kuja ku Euro Stadium konse banayika so pamene banayika manje mu road mu banabwa bashika after bashika kunapita almost 3 months ndio mse mu October ma end ya October ndiye pamene manje tinabwa manje tamba kuona ati manzi yamba kuchoka manje manzi zikensi manzi yachoka manje uchokera pansi yachokera muri yakuti abantu mamene tionera manzi yankala wastage because biteze kati benangu balibe na manzi ngata manzi ni ya clean there's need ubo sebenzira because kuli bantu benangu balibe manzi yakulita bwanji yokuma whereby manzi yankala chabe wastage yaenda na kuenda.
This has become a reliable source of water for domestic use in this compound, which poses a health hazard to residents. Furthermore, it is a reason why they cannot access public transport, owing to the fact that motorists have a challenge of reaching this far from the main road. Community members have since taken an initiative to work on the roads themselves.
So mchosa kuti material
Mamatiro yagula sheni wamozo anasipeleka ndiye wanashitamunga bagula ko gula ko tumyala nyala
na wewe ni wa community member che.
They have since called on the water utility company to address the situation as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company Public Relation Officer Shamba Muzungu has responded, saying the company will study the situation and ensure that it is worked on in the quickest possible time.
Well, first and foremost, we would like to say that there is no construction works which have been abandoned in Chunga compound. In Chunga compound, we are implementing a project to improve water supply in the area, and that project is going on smoothly, and we've made remarkable progress in the area so that we can improve water supply to the people of Chunga compound. With regards to the water, spillage which has been reported there, I think it's something that we've taken interest. We've noted that, and we'll investigate the matter to establish where the problem could be coming from, so that it can be immediately rectified and restore the situation.
It is the hope of the residents that they receive the needed attention and be given proper water supply and roads be restored. Alex Chimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Residents of the MWANAWASA relocation settlement have appealed to the United Party for National Development Administration to intervene in a matter in which soldiers at Mikango Barracks are denying them the use of the only direct route to their settlement. Senior citizen Mary Longwe has lamented that access to proper health facilities is now a challenge, as the only route which directly leads to their settlement passes through the barrack, and that it has been closed by the men and women in uniform. Mrs. Longwe says denying the people in the area the only route to access the rest of the town is tantamount to torture, as their movements have been restricted in the area.
Kulibe museo, kulibe sukuru, kulibe hospital, kulibe marketi, kulibe chili chonse cholangiza kuti kunkhala abantu. Bantu bebwera kuno mu 2011, but up to now there is no school. Here you find women going to give birth from Mikango. The same day she will come walking. Mikango to here is about 9 kilometers. There are very few who have gone to school here. The school is very far, because if they want to go to school, they have to go to Mikango. Please, 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 Badoni government. Alidanda wira tama soja. Mkwebati batupereko nshita ya kutitule ipitako. Sometimes you find good people mwapita. Vambi vami shinguru.
Nyampande Village Senior Headman John Mambo has called for an audit of the mining potential in Rufunsa district, stating that the mining sector has been infested by illegal miners. In an interview, the Senior Village Headman has appealed to the United Party for National Development Administration to ensure that the formulation of policies which will see locals benefiting from their local wealth. Meanwhile, area chieftainess Her Royal Highness Mompasha has lamented over the living conditions of many traditional leaders. Zipporah Mshala filed this report.
Mining is Zambia's main source of revenue, as the country is rich in copper and other minerals. While many parts of the country have mineral deposits, mining in these areas is said to be done illegally, hence limiting the number of beneficiaries. There have been concerns that locals within mining towns are being bypassed, as they have not benefited on individual level from minerals within their areas. This is the case of Nyampande area in Rufunsa district, where Senior Village Headman John Mambo bemoans the situation.
All these mines have to reorganize, where the raw establishment who is looking after the subject be beneficiary number one, and then the subject. But the government should get its taxes. The reason why we have this IMF and so forth and people beating the drum the loudest, Zambia is capable of employing the many youth that voted in August. The problem has been our corporate side has been a disaster. In these 42 mines, and I've got a list. It's not something you come to, I'll give it to you. All of them, I've just known now that I have a bit of involvement with the system, to say certain things were done the wrong way.
He, however, affirms that he will step up to ensure that mining laws are followed in his area, following commitment from the United Party for National Development UPND administration to follow law and order.
So I'll make sure that whoever comes wants a license, I will all be between the Minister of Mines and ZCCM. I actually said, let's do it the right way.
Area Chieftainess Her Royal Highness Mumpasha laments that traditional leaders have not benefited from the mines within the area.
Stichita mabenefiti kumaini. Maini sana liatwa na liachembe. Babome nzoziwa wachi wachembe. Niwa menenzo lemba makonsentileta. Stizi wakuti kuli maini apa manje munyu doni. Nye pameti zaona kuti tizatandizika.
The traditional leaders say there needs to be an audit of the country's mineral wealth to see who is mining in these places so as to restore sanity. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Rufunsa District.
ActionAid Zambia has requested that mining companies, inclusive of Konkola Copper Mines, must pay its Environmental Protection Fund dues of $6 million as disclosed by KCM boss Enoch Mponda. ActionAid Country Director Nalucha Ziva says her institution has noted that lack of compliance by mining companies stated by Auditor General Dick C. Chembe that out of over 1,200 large-scale mining license holders in Zambia, only 56 are contributing to the Environmental Protection Fund. Mrs. Ziva says it is worrisome that KCM is a culprit of environmental negligence despite the mining giant having caused liabilities of $128 million for the Environmental Protection Fund. She says the new administration should consider strengthening the Environmental Protection Fund committees.
Even with the balance of $6 million, KCM has been in the past a culprit of environmental negligence cases. Recently, we as ActionAid released a documentary of the environmental negligent acts by the mine company towards the people of Shimabala community in Solwezi. As of 31st December 2020, a total of $32.5 million was held in the fund according to the EITI reports. As ActionAid Zambia, we request that the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development provide an update towards the Environmental Protection Fund investment policy and engagement of relevant stakeholders on the best practices for sustainable mining, on-site land recovery and benefits to mining host communities affected by mine operations, as this will reduce the negative environmental impacts causing more harm to vulnerable communities living in close proximity to mines.
In other news, Zambia's former Finance Minister Ngandu Magande has advised young politicians to be getting their facts right before commenting on matters of national interest to avoid speculation and creating unnecessary discordance. Mr. Magande has disclosed that misrepresentation of facts, a statement made by Lumezi Constituency Member of Parliament Monia Zulu, stating that he was never persecuted by the fourth Republican President Rupia Banda are not true. Mr. Zulu, when he was appearing before the AntiCorruption Commission, claimed that the fight against corruption was regional and tribal, claiming that Zambia's fourth Republican president never persecuted Mr. Magande. But speaking in a walk-in interview, Mr. Magande is disappointed that Mr. Zulu was commenting on matters he does not understand. He says to the contrary, as outlined in his book titled The Depth of My Footprints, Mr. Magande explains that he suffered political persecution in various aspects.
As the United Party for National Development, UPND administration spearheads the fight against corruption, a number of issues have emerged between those for and those against. Those who served under the Patriotic Front government call it persecution.
All this you are seeing is persecution from LUSAKA in the Ichilemas government, but you are not going to stop talking.
Other rights activists like Breb Nachangala say the corruption fight is not regional or tribally focused, but targets offenders.
These same so-called victims have come to accuse the new administration as arresting people from one region, which is a lie. I am a Bemba. They are not arresting Bembas as a tribe. They are arresting people who have committed offenses.
Apparently, on the 14th of January 2022, Lumezi Constituency Member of Parliament Monia Zulu, while trying to paint the corruption fight as being regional, he made a reference that Zambia's fourth Republican President Rupia Banda never persecuted former Finance Minister Ngandu Magande.
We can't continue on this projection. For how long are we going to be vindictive? The country needs healing. When President Rupia Banda won the election, did you see him victimize Honorable Magande? No. He didn't do that. But why should we continue? The country is suffering.
But this statement misrepresented facts, according to Mr. Magande, who reached out to us, asking many questions to Mr. Zulu, which include, but not limited to the following. Who told Mr. Zulu that he was never persecuted? How well does he understand his relationship with Mr. Banda? Why was he dragged into the conversation when he has never served as Zambia's president? Did he read his book titled The Depth of My Footprints, which documented how he was politically victimized among other phases of his life journey?
To tell the public and the world that what the Honorable MP said is not correct. My relationship with the former president is well known by him and myself. And those who want to know a bit of it, they can read my book, The Depth of My Footprints.
Mr. Zulu, who acknowledged that it did not mean that Mr. Magande might have had a case to answer and that he was not fully aware of the sour relationship between the two senior citizens.
Do you know that I was dropped on 14th of November 2008 without a mention of all the saves I did for your country for 5.5 years?
That I didn't know.
Isn't that persecution?
It is.
However, one wonders the motive behind Mr. Zulu's utterances, but your guess is as good as mine. But for now, only him knows better. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
President Hakainde Hichilema has called on concerned government departments to ensure that conditions or that enabled a small clique of people to steal public resources is reviewed. The head of state notes that the clique has also started recruiting new members in the current government who said are taught how to steal government resources. Mr. Hichilema has since directed the Drug Enforcement Commission Director General Mary Chira to ensure that theft of public resources is fought to a latter and has assured her of the necessary support from government. Speaking at State House Monday during the swearing-in ceremony of newly appointed DEC Director General Mary Chira, President Hichilema disclosed that much of Zambia's $7 million United States domestic debt is from penalties levied on government projects by contractors due to bad laws that were introduced in the contracts. President Hichilema says former government officials and sub-business houses colluded to introduce bad legislation in government, which included penalties as well as 20% down payment on contracts. The Anti-Corruption Commission investigative officer, Sweden LUSAKA, has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that he felt demeaned when former State House Press Aide Amos Chanda allegedly called him an idiot after he informed him that he could not enter his search farm with the media. This is in a matter in which Mr. Chanda, his wife and sister-in-law are accused of using insulting language and obstructing ACC officers. When the matter came up before Chief Resident Magistrate Dominic Makalacha for continued trial Monday, Mr. LUSAKA testified that during their search operation at Mr. Chanda's 3 properties, he received an unexplainable insult from Mr. Chanda's sister-in-law.
Silence coupled with laughter and shock is what characterized the Lusaka's Magistrate Court Monday morning when an investigative officer from the Anti-Corruption Commission testified how he was showered with insults the time he and other officers went to conduct a search at the property belonging to former State House Press Aide Amos Chanda. Sweden LUSAKA told court that Mr. Chanda allegedly insulted him and claimed that they were conducting an illegal search when he informed him that he could not allow him to go with the media inside his property during the time officers were conducting an operation at one of Mr. Chanda's property in State Lodge. Mr. LUSAKA, during his testimony, further testified that Mr. Chanda's sister-in-law, Ruth Nakaundi, allegedly baptized him with undescribed insults, a situation that left him angry, emotional, and he questioned if the job he was employed to do was worth it. This is in a matter in which Mr. Chanda, his wife Mebo Chanda, and sister-in-law Ruth Nakaundi are accused of using insulting language and obstructing ACC officers. The 3 are alleged to have obstructed and delayed the officers while they carried out a siege at one of Mr. Chanda's property in Woodlands area. And addressing the media shortly after court, Mr. Chanda had this comment.
When a court matter is proceeding, I'm guided by my lawyers to avoid any commentary. But I also will never give up an inch of my rights just because the people lying is the SEC. It's just to further say that every single lie the SEC tells in the media will deal with it in the media promptly. As for the lies that they tell in court, you are all seeing that my Apple Council is dealing with the obnoxious lies as they come. So I wanted to make it clear again that the freedom of expression available to me by virtue of Article 20 of the Constitution guarantees me freedom of expression without restraint. And that sacrosanct freedom cannot be subservient to a police bond. I am here to say again that they can have their damn police bond. My freedom of expression is inviolable, not an inch of it to be taken away. We're not going to have a mafia state, a Gestapo apartheid regime type of governance where you frame a citizen and assign to them properties that they do not own just because that investigative agency has a right to prosecute. That will not happen. So I wanted to make these things very clear, that a pattern of lies, a pattern of behavior has emerged where a state institution can lie through its teeth. In their mouth, there is no single truth whatsoever.
The matter has since been adjourned to the 19th of January 2022. Miriam Kemba reporting.
Still in court, 8 United Party for National Development cadres suspected of killing 2 Patriotic Front cadres have pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder before the Lusaka High Court. The 8 are accused of killing Danny Kasongo and David Kabunda in Kanyama compound during the 2021 election campaign period. The matter has since been adjourned to 20th January 2022 for trial.
After struggling with legal representation last week, a situation that forced them to fail to take plea in an alleged murder case that they have been accused of, 8 United Party for National Development UPND cadres have finally found a lawyer to represent them in the alleged murder case. Samson Mumba, Kelvin Banda, John Mwanza, Njekwa Putau, Ruben Nalikana, John Walia have been jointly charged with 2 juveniles aged 16 with 2 counts of murder, contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. They are accused of killing 2 opposition Patriotic Front cadres, Dan Kasongo and David Kabunda. After being incarcerated for almost 4 months, the 8 who appeared before Lusaka High Court Judge Charles Zulu Monday morning finally pleaded not guilty to the offense. The 6 adults, including the 2 juveniles, have denied the 2 count of murder charges that have been slapped against them. Last week, the High Court failed to proceed with the matter because the accused requested for more time to find a new lawyer. The 8 were dragged to court in August 2021 on allegation that they killed Kasongo and Kaunda, both members of the Patriotic Front, during the election period when PF and UPND members clashed in Lusaka's Kanyama compound. The 2 victims are said to have been allegedly killed at the Patriotic Front camp located at Kanyama Ward 13 along Basila Road. The matter has since been adjourned to the 20th of January 2022 for commencement of trial. Miriam Kemba reporting for Camnet TV News.
We take our first set of commercials. When we return, we have more interesting stories. Stay with us.
For over 24 years now, we have constantly been working to ensure that we deliver products and services to communities, cities, nations, the continent, and the world at large, offering solutions in the energy sector, mining, telecommunications, health, transport, construction, cybersecurity, agriculture, and printing. Savenda has been at the core of it all in ensuring that it helps in bringing social and economic development to its loving people. We value your support, and as we look forward to the year ahead, would like to thank you for the support you have given us. the Savenda Group of Companies board, management and staff would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2022. Savenda, Save Nations, Develop Africa.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry. Has so much data.
Mom.
Yes, baby.
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
You're still watching Camnet News. Thank you for staying on. Pharmaceutical expert Jerome Kanyika says the Biomedical Union of Zambia president Daniel Mwimbe erred when he seemingly attacked the local scientist's role in the fight against the COVID-19. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Kanyika says the union should focus on its role in society. Meanwhile, Biomedical Union of Zambia has clarified its earlier statement, saying that they were asking government to create a platform that would facilitate engagements among scientists to discuss local solutions towards combating the COVID-19 pandemic.
January 15, 2022, some sections of the media reported that the Biomedical Union of Zambia allegedly accused local scientists of not being helpful in the fight against COVID-19. The union president, Daniel Mwimbe, added that Zambia needed to be holding review meetings which would guide Ministry of Health on measures to be taken in the fight against the pandemic. However, a pharmaceutical expert, Jeremy Kanyika, says the Biomedical Union of Zambia president, Daniel Mwimbe, was wrong to attack local scientists.
Statement from the Biomedical Union, I think it's very much unfortunate for them to start blaming another profession body for what is happening in the COVID pandemic. And I wish and clearly to direct their energy where it's supposed to be. As you have seen, we are testing about 4,000 people on a daily basis to 5,000. I think the Biomedical Union was supposed to advocate for more test kits to be made available. Not only that, they need to also focus their energy in accounting for all the tests that we have done in terms of COVID-19, because what I've seen and what I can say, we don't have any clear outcome or any clear indication to say these tests that the country has bought and they have been used according to the people of Zambia. They should also explain to the people of Zambia how they made the people to believe that they have syphilis. Well, we had a fake syphilis test in a government institution.
Mr. Kanyika added that the union president should stick to his role in the fight against the pandemic.
Medical union is supposed to concentrate their energy, unlike trying to attack the pharmacists who are very much innocent and who are trying to fight this pandemic with all what they have. Check in terms of community cases that we have and how many people are recovering from the community cases. You discover that We have 90 to 98% people who are recovering from the community cases that the minister, she's reporting every day. All those people, at one time or another, they are visiting the community.
Meanwhile, Biomedical Union of Zambia President Daniel Mwimbe has clarified with Camnet News that he was not attacking local scientists.
Clarity on the statement that we have seen flying everywhere, that we had accused scientists of not doing anything in the fight against COVID. I think we need to put it in this way, that the assertions are wrong. What we are calling for is an endeavor, a simple endeavor, where the scientific community, this community which comprises clinicians, comprises biomedical scientists, comprises pharmacists, and all other medical experts, medical scientists from academia, from research, all these are supposed to have a platform where they sit together. We have had COVID for 2 years, and such an endeavor would be very important for them to review how far have we come, where are we going, what tools can we sharpen, how can we sharpen these tools, and also what are the possible measures that we can implement.
Zambia has in the last 24 hours recorded 685 confirmed new COVID-19 cases and 6 deaths. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, LUSAKA.
The Zambia Public Procurement Authority has observed that many procurement entities in the country do not fully adhere to Section 89 of the Public Procurement Act, which focuses on the eligibility of bidders to participate in the public procurement. ZPPA Director General Ida Chela has told the media that the authority had in the fourth quarter of 2021 reviewed 131 sets of procurement committees minutes which showed lack of adherence. Mrs. Chela further says the authority had suspended Viglax Resources Corporation Limited from participating in the public procurement for 1 year due to underperformance of contractual obligations.
The award of procurement tenders in the government has over the years been a subject of concern. Members of the public have wondered how the selection process is done and have called on the auditing of procurement entities. The Zambia Public Procurement Authority ZIPA, at a media briefing held in Lusaka on the fourth quarter of 2021 highlights, has indicated that many procurement entities in the country do not fully adhere to Section 89 of the Public Procurement Act, which focuses on the eligibility of bidders to participate in public procurement.
Fourth quarter of 2021, 131 sets of procurement minutes were reviewed. From the review, it was observed that many PEs do not fully adhere to Section 89 of the PPA, which focuses on the eligibility of bidders. The review revealed that some PEs do not include price reasonableness analysis in the procurement committee minutes.
The authority also conducted investigations on various procurement matters and considered appeals from aggrieved bidders arising from various procurements. Ms. Chila says 5 investigations were undertaken and that 1 investigation was concluded, which led to the suspension of Viglax Resources Corporation Limited from participating in the public procurement for 1 year due to underperformance of the contractual obligation, while 4 other companies are still being investigated.
From various procurements in the fourth quarter of 2021, 5 investigations were undertaken. The status is that 1 investigation was concluded and 4 are still ongoing. 6 appeals were reviewed, 2 were concluded, 1 was withdrawn, and 3 are ongoing. Arising from the investigation, a company by the name of Viglax Resources Corporation Limited was suspended from participating in public procurement for 1 year due to underperformance of contractual obligations. We again sternly caution suppliers who operate in the public procurement to ensure that they fulfill their contractual obligations.
The new government has placed premium on how the procurement process was being conducted in the past and has promised to ensure that procurement adheres to 3 standards, among them the right quantity, delivered at the right time, and at the right price. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Private Security Companies Association has shunned the conditions set by the National Pension Scheme Authority (NAPSA) contained in an advert for BEAD's physical security services. In an interview, Association Managing Director Francis Mokoka has stated that the conditions demanding that a company have over 6 million expected profit is unfounded and will promote corruption. Mr. Mokoka explains that no security firm in Zambia can attain that kind of profit within 1 year, considering the economic status in the advent of the COVID-19. Mr. Mokoka has disclosed that as an association, it has embarked on an exercise to verify the membership of companies to ensure that the due process is prescribed by the law is adhered to and every member before being certified. He has since warned that all members that shall be found wanting will be deregistered and declared non-members.
We said this condition has been unfair and it's not supposed to be entertained by the government and by NAPSA. We are calling NAPSA to rescind the decision on condition for these bids, because we believe no security company can make that profit within 1 year. And because of this COVID, I believe everyone is struggling to make profit because of COVID. So we are saying no, let them change those conditions. Then also we are suggesting that NAPSA, as a government institution, should not strictly themselves to give a tender to service all the NAPSA offices across the country. Because we believe we have members in every provinces. We have different security companies in all these provinces. Why should we get a security company from Lusaka to go and start guarding all offices for NAPSA and shopping malls? We are saying no. Let them, those in provincials, let them also benefit. As a private security company, we are saying no, and let them know that we have embarked on scrutinizing security companies, because there is a stage where 3/4 of the security companies has bypassed. So we have embarked to verify and check on the security companies that are operating without proper papers.
This is Camnet News. We take another set of commercials. When we return, we have sports and international news. Stay with us.
On Monday, 17th January 2022, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba as the host, Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya, former Transport and Communication Minister.
He's carrying a lot of burdens. Some of the burdens are rising from his promises. Some of them are rising from what he has inherited from previous governments, including PF. Some of them which are global in nature. The president has to solve our problems. He has to solve all these problems.
At exactly 20:45 hours, as they discuss various national matters.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum Products for that perfect skin.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. In international news, Malians living in Bamako have reacted to the death of former President IBRAHIM BOUBACAR KEITA. Despite the differences of opinion, they pay tribute to the man of peace, a man of his word. The former Malian president died on Sunday in Bamako at the age of 76, a year and a half after being overthrown by Mali. IBRAHIM BOUBACAR KEITA, Mali's former head of state, was toppled by the military in 2020 and died on Sunday at his home. In other news, China's economic growth slowed at the end of last year after a strong start. The pandemic, real estate troubles, and the lowest birth rate in decades are being blamed on that.
Tributes continue to pour in after the death of the Mali's former president IBRAHIM BOUBACAR KEITA on Sunday. KEITA's rule was riddled with lots of controversies and criticism, especially from the opposition, before he was toppled through a coup in 2020. In the weeks before the 2020 coup, he had been struggling with protests fueled by his handling of a jihadist insurgency and a failure to turn around Mali's floundering economy. Despite differences of opinion, people continue to pay in tribute to a man of peace and a man of his word. His death shocked me enormously because he is our president. We fought him, but he was a man of peace, a man of his word. He governed Mali, and may his soul rest in peace. We can only pray to God that he rests in peace. He did what he could do for the country, even if he did not finish his mandate. Even so, he did what he could do. Considering the way he gave himself for this country and all the efforts he made, in spite of all that, we were not grateful to him. Personally, I would have liked to meet him to present him with our sincere apologies for our behavior. KEITA was 2 years into his second 5-year term when in 2020 he faced widespread street protest against his government and was toppled by the military, which is now under regional sanctions for failing to restore civilian rule. KEITA was forced out of office on August 18, 2020 by young military officers who staged an uprising at a base near Bamako before heading into the city where they seized KEITA and other leaders.
As China tackles its Omicron spread, a temperature check on the health of its economy shows mixed results. Fourth quarter GDP rose by 4% from a year ago, according to China's National Bureau of Statistics. That's stronger than the government's own target, but nearly a full percentage point slower than the previous quarter. The Chinese economy grew by 8.1% in 2021 with the help of steady industrial output as the world continued to buy China's goods.
Industrial production experienced sustained development, and high-tech manufacturing and equipment manufacturing experienced fast growth.
But momentum is waning, and its economy lost steam in the second half of the year, triggered by a slowdown in the real estate sector and regulatory clampdowns, authorities restricting the amount of money property developers could borrow after the fallout from the debt-hit Evergrande crisis. Authorities will also need to address the effects of an ageing population and the lowest birth rates since 1949, just 7.5 births to every 1,000 people. That's despite relaxing family planning measures like the one-child policy. Young Chinese couples are increasingly choosing not to have babies because of higher living costs. Other challenges on the horizon for China include supply chain problems and uncertainties surrounding the pandemic. The Omicron variant has spread to a number of its cities, prompting lockdowns and ramped up restrictions. At least one case has been detected in Beijing, which is gearing up to host the Winter Olympics in less than 3 weeks. Restrictions are being stepped up to contain the spread ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday.
Honestly, I'm worried that the Winter Olympics will bring in more cases. When people come from other countries, we do not know how the situation will go.
I'm not worried. I think the government has been doing well.
Chinese officials are warning people in high-risk areas, including Beijing, to avoid travelling during the festive period. Britt Clennett, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
Well, that's it for international news. We go straight into sports news. The start of the 2022 FAS Women's National League is in disarray after a disagreement between FAS and the clubs on the kick-off date. The second over season of the women's elite competition has been proposed to kick-start next weekend by the association, but clubs are not taking kindly to the ambush. The clubs are asking for at least a month to prepare and put everything in order before a new season can kick off. The teams also want a meeting with fans to know what they are playing for and the way forward for the league. Zamford reports that Green Buffaloes won the inaugural FAS Women National League and will be looking to defend the title as they will again go into the season as favourites. The new season will now have 18 teams after Solwezi Academy Queens, Prisons Leopard Queens, Queen Eagles and Chipata Girls won promotion at the playoffs held in Lusaka last August. Well, that item ends our news. The headlines once again. President HH says a clique of thieves is recruiting new members in government. MWANAWASA relocation settlement residents plead for help as the military imposed restrictions on a vital route. A LUSAKA man is on the run for murdering his wife. In international news, Malians pay tribute to the former leader IBRAHIM BOUBACAR KEITA. And in sports, FAS clubs differ over kick-off date of new Women's Super League season. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, and it's coming from 1 Peter 5 verse 10, and it reads, "Now the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ Jesus, will personally restore, establish, strengthen, and support you after you have suffered a little." Well, thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Remember to observe the COVID-19 health guidelines and stop the spread of the COVID-19. Good night and keep watching Camnet TV.